okay, this is the only technical term I'll use, which is mind your API. That little thing there is a porcupine. I don't know if you've got porcupines in Israel, but we have lots of porcupines in the US, okay? A porcupine is very interesting, is that nobody wants to touch a porcupine because a porcupine stings you besides, right? So it sort of stings you. Mind your API. API is called Application Programming Interface, but it also means mind your handshake. Today, everybody talks about how the future is a network. And what is a network? It's people working together. Well, networks only connect if your handshake is good, right? One of the reasons why Microsoft is having such a big problem in this world is people don't like their old Microsoft handshakes. Right? Many years ago, when people shook hands with Microsoft, Microsoft basically took away their intellectual knowledge and came up with a competing product. So nobody trusts them. So in the new space, people basically say, we don't trust you. And in a world where you have to move really, really fast, if people don't trust you, how do you work? Because you've got to mind your API. If you don't help people, how do they help? So the thing we always say is, in this new world, some of the old-fashioned things like trust and credibility and service even matter much more. Because if you move really fast, your contracts will only come in 2 years after the project is completed. Because if you wait for the lawyers, right, it's finished, it's too late. And so this is about whose handshake do you trust, how fast can you move. And that's one of the interesting things in this world, which is in the jazz world, you basically saw that the best musicians played with the best musicians, who they could trust to give them space and to play off each other. That was what it was about, improvising and lifting. This one is also very important. In jazz, it's about facilitation. All of you all are marketers. Many of you all are clients. Many of you all are service providers. Many of you all are other providers. In the world of marketing, when somebody tells me, I am marketing, I'm saying, well, in this interaction space, you are not marketing anymore. I am marketing to myself. Okay? I don't know what it's like in Israel, but I'll give you 3 statistics, United States statistics. For people who buy a new car, 75% of the people who buy a new car go into a dealership having already decided what car they want, have figured out the specs, have figured out the price, and all they want to do is they don't want to talk to anybody. They say, I want to drive the car, and then let's figure out the price. And I already know what the price is. This is what I should be paying for it. So what marketing are you doing? They go to places like Edmunds and Kelley Blue Book, and they decide what they want to do. When people decide to travel, and it's not business travel, they decide where they're going, they check out the prices, they check out hotels, they go to different reviews, and they already know what they do. Think about health. In the US, for people with incomes above $75,000, 45% of the people, when they go to a doctor, go with internet pages already typed out. And they say, this is what's wrong with me, give me the medicine. Right? People, if it goes all the way down to health, people are marketing to themselves. How do you be a facilitator to marketing versus getting in the way of their marketing? And that's again why interaction matters. How do you, when they are interacting with your brand, interacting with category information, how do you actually involve yourself in a way that is helpful, which is to be facilitative? Which is really interesting that you no longer are a brand manager, you are a brand facilitator. It's a very interesting new way of sort of thinking. The last one is to be authentic. So this lady here, for those of you who don't know, and you all may know because you all are a young crew, but occasionally when I talk to my elderly clients, they say, who's that? That's Kate Moss, okay, the #1 model in the world. And Kate Moss, a few months ago, about actually 15 months ago, had what is known as a talcum powder incident in a bar in London. What I mean by a talcum powder incident is she was seen and photographed snorting cocaine. Okay? So what basically happened is a lot of her endorsers, because she's a very high-paid model, said, oh my gosh, we can't have her appear in our ads. We're so stunned, right? She probably talked to them, but she didn't do the following things. She did not say, it was not me, it was somebody else, okay? She did not basically go and say, well, the reason this happened is because when I was 12 years old, I saw a giraffe, and the giraffe hit my brain, and this is what has happened to me so many years later, right? She did not go to the equivalent in the United States of an Oprah Winfrey show and talk about, oh, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, right? She basically said nothing. Today, she's still the most popular model in the world because she was authentic. Because young people know when you're fooling them. They know that your public relations person has said, now you go to the Oprah Winfrey show. Okay, you put out this press release. You put out this whole thing. So similarly, for those of you all who are thinking about writing blogs for your companies, you have to write the blog. Don't you dare hire an agency to write the blog, because people will figure out that they are writing the blog. If it's supposed to be your voice, it's supposed to be your voice, right? And that's the very interesting thing. In this particular world, if you're not authentic, you get yourself into big trouble. This little company called Walmart in the United States hired Edelman to write some blogs for them, and it went down in huge flames, right? For those of you who get access to Wired magazine, the most recent issue is an issue called Being Naked. Okay, it's about authentic. It's not like being naked, but it's about being authentic. And one of the articles is about Microsoft and their blogging capabilities. But it sort of backfired on them, because what happened is Microsoft actually hired a PR company to try to get the people at Wired magazine to write this article. And by mistake, all the backing up that they had for this article was available to everyone. So you could actually go and see things. So what's particularly interesting in this world, if you are not going to be authentic, don't even try, okay? Because people are going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out, and everyone's got sort of a broadcasting thing. So if you think about the 7 rules, which I've gone through, those could be very, very helpful sort of in this jazz age. So net, what I've basically done is said Web 2.0 is jazz. What people are really worried about is how do they change organizations? How do they keep abreast of time and speed and analog, digital, and power shifting, right? And the solution is not about technology, but it's about a different mindset change. So hopefully this is helpful, and thank you very much.